The version tab is essentially the same as putting your cursor on the abbreviation in the analysis in the browse window. But it's whichever version you place your cursor on is going to give information about that version. So some of the things you find in here, of course, is copyright information, which may be very useful. You can see information about that version that way. You also find here the version ID you already know, but the number of books it contains, chapters, verses. When it says blank verses, it doesn't mean that it's not trying to state that it's leaving anything out necessarily. What this is more computer terminology, because you're going to have all these different versions that you have here. What is the most number of verses in a book? Okay, say if book A has 12 verses in chapter 1 and book B has 13 verses in chapter 1, well, that means book A is going to have one blank verse. And it could be that they don't include information in verse 3. Well, there is no verse 3 technically in verse A. They don't have it. But because of the standard versification system says there is in certain versions. So we're not trying to make a distinction that, some things are left blank, that they're not included. It's just, you have to put in a place setting. Because in the browse window, you notice that you have things, you're comparing things. They all have verses that work together. We have verse mapping. Let me give an example here. I have the Hebrew Bible, it's my search version. I'm going to go to Psalm, 8:1. Now let's go to 9:1. Okay, Psalm 9:2 in the Hebrew text. But look at ESV, Psalm 9:1. There's a verse mapping. It's not an error, but that is designed to make the content, the same content, go from one to the next. So when I go to 9:1, it's still 9:1, because in the Hebrew Bible, Psalm 9:1 and Psalm 9:2 combined are the content in ESV Psalm 9:1. So this way you get to compare the text. Nobody's concerned on comparing the verse numbers. Verse numbers are never expired anyway. But we do want to see what the text says. We want to compare the text. So we do a verse mapping. So we have to include, if there's ever,
the Septuagint in the English, the Old Testament often have a different.
Yeah, they can. A lot of times the English versions will come off the Hebrew Bible. So just because you have differences in Hebrew Bible, you tend to have them also in the English side as well. So, yeah. So you have to know, if you want to looking for, like Isaiah 4:2, you need to know which versification am I talking about. Am I talking Hebrew Bible? Am I talking about Septuagint versification? Or is it English Bible I'm talking about?
Right.
So, yeah, to get the correct verse, yes. That especially comes up in the Church Fathers. You don't know which one they're going with sometimes.
Oh, right.
So, yeah. All right. So, okay, so that's what the blank verses there. And then of course down there you're going to have the total number of words and the number of unique words. That's different specific words. That's a list of all the words available. The total number of words is all the different occurrences. You might have 3,000 occurrences of the word "and," for example. And then you're going to have the listing all the books included in there. So that's also there as well. Okay. So you won't use that a lot, but sometimes that is very nice to have.